Wikipedia describes the scythe as an agricultural tool for mowing grass or harvesting crops. It is historically used to cut down or reap edible grains before the process of threshing. The scythe has largely been replaced by horse-drawn and then tractor machinery, but is still used in some areas of Europe and Asia. Reapers are bladed machines that automate the cutting of the scythe and sometimes subsequent steps in preparing the grain or the straw or hay. But this is not the scythe I want to talk about today. There's a different scythe, or rather a different meaning of scythe. The scythe, as a metaphor, is also used to represent death. The Grim Reaper, the personification of death, is mostly depicted using this as a weapon. He uses it to reap your soul and guide you to the underworld. Even when just googling the word scythe, one of the first questions is, what is the weapon of the Grim Reaper? Popular culture has picked up on this, and now the scythe is depicted in many different films and games. And what better place to put it than my favorite card game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Artifact Scythe was released in May 2004 in the TCG in Primal Origins, along with a plethora of other artifact cards. It quickly established itself as a good card in the Traptrix Hand Artifact, or HAT deck. The first person to ever top a notable event was Nikolai Howlett, main decking 2 Artifact Scythe.
And then for the artifacts, 3 blue. Well, I call them by blue because I hate the names.
They're color coded, yeah.
Stuff, so I call them by colors.
That's fine.
3 blue, 2 black, 1 red. 1 red because he's only good in combo-oriented situations. Black is just good for soul charge plays. And basically when your opponent makes a push and trying to XYZ, you stop it with it. And blue, disrupted. Solid card on
Yep,
top.
definitely.
As you can see, Scythe was not used as a turn skip like how it is today, but another control element, stopping your opponent if he tried to kill you, or as a target for soul charge to overwhelm your opponent with monsters and kill him on the following turn. Accessing the extra deck was also not very common. Summoning 1 extra deck monster in a turn was seen as a lot. Most turn 1 boards were set for a pass, which was considered one of the strongest boards. And if compulsory evacuation device is at 1, you can imagine how slow the game was at the time. 2014 also saw some other tops, mostly by other head decks. The only exception being Alexander Dre's Majestic Artifact list, topping YCS Madrid, where he played a Monarch control deck, focusing on Majesty's Fiend to stop the opponent monsters. 2014 to 2016 saw some other decks perform well with Scythe, mostly Shaddoll and Cosmos, topping a regional or YCS here and there, but this is not the year I want to focus on. The year is 2017. Raging Tempest just released, and with it, it brought the most controversial archetype up until now, Zodiacs. Every tournament was dominated by it. Even most top 32 at a YCS would be 31 Zodiac variants. And this, my dear friends, is where Artifact Scythe was a breakout card. And like history repeating itself, the Scythe turned from a farming tool to the weapon of the Reaper, stealing your turn and guiding you to the underworld. And there may not be a better example of this than the 2017 YCS Sydney Top 8 feature match. This was the first YCS Zodiacs were legal, and in Game 2, already up 1-0 in the match, Noah Green activates Artifact Sanctum to summon Artifact Scythe.
Normal summons Thoroughblade. Activates his effect to discard Zodiac combo and draw a card. Yes, he activates Sanctum. That lets him summon an artifact in his deck. Negates the activation. So the first one was not considered activated. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Okay. If the card says use, you're only Trident.
Looks like he sets Pokemon in my body as a shield and passes. Not the proactive piece he probably wanted, or the trap card to help interact, but
for sure.
Could be worse.
Upgrades to Larval, upgrades to Whiptail. Whiptail whips its tail, swaps the Xyz material for Thoroughblade. Now he has 2,800 attack points.
Yep. And
While Noah was completely outvalued by his opponent, one artifact Scythe brought him back into the game. The Reaper was not only here to play, but here to stay. You see, Zodiacs relied on the extra deck to be able to play, heavily utilizing Trident to control the board and Daigusto Emerald to recurse resources as well as drawing cards. And the difference between you having a Trident and Daigusto Emerald and your opponent not even being able to attempt to summon one was immense. Noah Green finished second in the event, only losing to Alexis Rodriguez's Kaiju Zodiac deck in a heartbreaking round 3 game off of a 50-50 with Cosmic Cyclone on a set artifact Sanctum. If that Sanctum would have resolved, Noah Green would have probably been the 2017 YCS Seattle champion.
Yeah.
like Sanctum does not only dimensional barrier, it gives you an additional attacker.
But Rodriguez has the Cosmic Cyclone face now, right? So if he uses it now,
he can end phase take a 50-50?
50-50, and he looks like he's doing it.
Oh,
if he hits the Sanctum, he's probably going to win. He hits the Sanctum. So
after this event, Artifact Scythe became one of the most popular staples in the format. The package would be 2 Artifact Scythe, 1 Artifact Moraltag, and 3 Artifact Sanctums to special summon them from the deck. There were 2 more times where Artifact Scythe was such a breakout card. Once during the October 2017 and once during the February 2022 format. 2 months prior to YCS London, Konami released Code of the Duelist, and with it a new master rule, which added 2 extra monster zones to the field, as well as a new type of extra deck monster, Link Monsters. Link Monsters were incredibly easy to summon, since you only needed to send the materials to the graveyard, and they were generally pretty generic. Then, 2 weeks before the event, Konami released another set, Circuit Break. Spiral got a new Link monster, Spiral Double Helix, and in combination with Firewall Dragon, an obscenely broken Link 4 monster, it quickly became the best deck in the format. And it is here that the Reaper found his next target. And what better way to showcase this than Tim Cox's run in the YCS London 2017, where 2 different times, once in top 4 and once during the finals, he time warped his opponent into the next duel just by summoning Artifact Scythe.
Ball load, he can take away the sleeper with a non-targeting effect, so the Deco Talker can't be used, and then he can run over the Deco Talker and then have a sleeper agent. But Artifact Sanctum is going to be a hard shutdown to JY's turn, and actually puts JY in a really horrible situation, because he's committed cards to the field that he now can't do anything with. And he's going to pick up his cards. He knows exactly what's going to happen. Selling her. That means you've got to guess with the Super Agent. It is a monster. Artifact Sanctum not being flipped. Yes, it is. Okay.
There is no reason you would not at this point. You do not want that deck to start kicking off.
Tim is in a very good place. He's got the Ash Blossom, he's got a Spiral Resort, and he's got a drone next turn. So he is going to be able to go up into Helix, and Jesse can Jesse going to pass, reluctantly. Your next 3 cards are
Mine to control.
2 draw and Lockbirds. He leaves it as it was. Doesn't even rearrange
Wow.
it because he knows how awful that is. And yeah. Jesse looks at his hand, takes a look at the top card of his deck, picks up
Scoops
his cards.
So we're going to a game.
Sadly, during the finals in Game 3, Tim opened a bricky hand going second with no interruptions, while Jesse had full combo.
All aboard the pain train.
The Hype Express.
Jesse's just plowing on there with his amazing start.
Choo choo, all aboard the spiral catamaran.
Going up the firewall. There we go. Master plan. Sleeper. Spar Resort. Handshake.
Balls it.
Tim is
Oh,
not even
wow, he's
gonna
not even
try.
After this, Artifact Scythe saw some play in a plethora of different decks, and also some notable tops. But then, in Dual Power, Konami printed a card no one expected, ridiculously broken and easy to summon, Artifact Dagda. Artifact Dagda lets you set Artifact Scythe straight from your deck, so Artifact Sanctum now became irrelevant. The combo was to summon Dagda, then summon Predaplant Vertate to set Fusion Destiny, summon Destiny Hero, Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, and then, during your opponent's turn, destroy your own Artifact Scythe and one card your opponent controlled, again locking him out of the extra deck. But twice now, Artifact Scythe faltered in the finals. Twice, the Reaper was denied his rightful place at the top. But with this new change, will we finally see the Reaper also become the king?
Sort of interaction during the concert. So even though he drew it, just trying to make the best use of it, right? But you are correct that it's not exactly ideal. It looks like he's going to use token alongside the Magician's Souls for an Artifact Dagda, and then link away his remaining 2 monsters for Fairchild Anaconda. So, you know, about pretty basic, just set up for the Artifact side alongside the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. So he's going to start with Turn 2. Yep. Pay 2,000. Going to copy that Fusion Destiny. That's also going to trigger the Artifact Dagda to set Artifact side. So setting it up for the following turn with the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. And as the Fusion Destiny resolves, he's going to kick down Celestial alongside Dasher, the dynamic duo once again for Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. And so, but regardless, this is the situation we're in now.
Looks like he actually has the copy of the so had he shot that Destroyer, it might have just been immediately met by with drop. So go second, facing down the side, has plenty of tools here to deal with. I wish I had it, you know, when I was traveling across the world. So no, it's definitely been helpful to use like on the plane or at airport. Code would be taking the Destroyer to be able to use it.
You got it, Adam.
In February of 2022, in a remote duel YCS with a very interesting 60 card list focused on DPE, Artifact Dagda, Hulky Fibrex, as well as the Adventure Engine, Paul Aronson finally managed to win a YCS with Artifact Scythe. The Reaper finally managed to claim its crown. But what does the future hold? In the last YCS, YCS Utrecht, Artifact Scythe was again a somewhat popular card, being played by the Sprite Evil Twin deck, and returning to the roots, used Artifact Sanctum to summon it. But now there are also even more cards that are good against Artifact Scythe, namely Infinite Impermanence and Forbidden Droplet. Currently, the format does not suit the card that well, since it is extremely grindy and many decks are able to play on their opponent's turn. I cannot predict the future, but as long as Konami does not put an end to Artifact Scythe, it will continue to be the Reaper of Yu-Gi-Oh! And with that, I want to thank you all for watching my video. This is my first video, so if you could like and subscribe and maybe leave a comment what you liked, what you didn't like about the video, would appreciate that a lot. I really hope I can get some feedback on that. And if I get a lot of comments, maybe I will make another one of the sorts.